Hello everyone. So I'm going to make this video because the first thing on class on Tuesday, I'm going to go through this example and I'm not going to necessarily do it slowly. I'm going to just probably run through the example. And so that I have this video here for both you to watch beforehand or watch afterwards. If you've missed anything, then you can follow along and do it yourself. Now, this example really shows the benefits of having a Windows versus having a Mac, because Windows, you have inbuilt commands to do this where you can forecast out your graphs, but Mac users, we have to do it manually. I think that there's some learning aspects to doing it manually, but I just want to note that if you have a Windows, you do have the ability to use this function called forecasting sheet, which is in your data, right? So there's data, that little data tab, go to the data tab. There is typically a little button on the top that says what if, and then next to it is forecasting sheets. And you can use that to forecast out. So here is the step-by-step in this particular book, and I've copied pasted into the PowerPoints. But essentially, we're going to take this data here, year, quarter, period, sales. And I think you have to create the period, or at least on my data set, you did. And we're going to create this graph that is forecasting out. This is the true sales. This is unobserved data. We're going to forecast out what the next, few weeks or periods, quarters are going to look like in cell phone sales. Here's what it looks like if you have the forecasting sheet inbuilt function. You could put forecasting in, forecasting start, the confidence interval that you want. You can set it manually for seasonality. You can do the time series range, the year, and then it interpolates the average and all of that good stuff. And you can just do that like within a little teeny formula building function. But what we're going to do is we're going to show it manually because I have a Mac and I don't have this inbuilt functionality. Okay, so smartphone data. Now, I feel like I need to move this out a little bit so that you can see. Let me double check to make sure the visuals look okay. Oh, not that. This guy. Yeah, that's pretty good. Now you can see everything. You can see the up here and you can see down here. You're actually, I don't think we even barely do anything up there, but that's okay. Oh, wait, no, I still want you to see the number of rows. This. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so I'm pretty sure if you download the data, it looks like this to begin with. First, we're going to insert a row, and we're going to create a period indicator, just an index. We're going to do 1, 2. We're going to count each row, bring it down to 16. But what we want to do is we also want to project it out. I think in the example, it does to 20, but we'll just project it out, let's say, to 20, I don't know, 26? Let's project it out. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's almost like a couple years. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that's about 2 years. Okay. First, we're going to predict out our sales by using the inbuilt function command. So if you type out forecast, there's forecast ETS. It gives you the target date. And what we want is this target date. We're going to tell it the values that we actually have of our real data. Oh, not that. Then we need to give it the timeline. This is how many periods it is, so it knows in the background. And then it has this seasonality function. So we did this too early. What we should always check first is let's look at what our data looks like. Oh, I don't want this quarter part. So this is what the sales look like. The sales have a very much seasonal trend by quarters observation. It's also going up. So there's a linear trend going up as well as a seasonality. So we would say, yes, that this data has seasonality just by visually looking at it. So when we go back to this, let me make sure that you can see it. Yeah, I need to get a little bit further back there. Is that good? That's close. I'll go one more. we're going to go forecast ETS, hit this guy, grab our real data that we observed, our timeline, which is the periods that we're predicting over, and seasonality. Okay, seasonality, we're going to say 1. That's what we're going to tell it. It's seasonal data. It has that seasonal look to it. And there we get our predicted variable predicted out to period 25. Excuse me. Now that gives us only the predicted value of a actual point. But, we want to kind of understand the confidence we have, right? We've done the statistical inference. We understand that it's good not just to estimate a specific point on sample data. It would be more helpful to understand the range that our data is telling us that we are confident in. So to do this, there's another function that we need to, or another function that uses forecasting that will give us the confidence interval. Now, our confidence interval, so look at this function, forecasting ETS, confidence interval. Now we do the same thing over here. We're going to put our target date. We're going to put our values in over our timeline, 16 periods. We know it's seasonal. Oh, no, we don't want that. Confidence interval, we want it at the 5% level, let's say. We are willing to make a 5% chance that we make a type 1 or type 2 error. And seasonality, we're going to tell it 1 because we saw that it's seasonal data. And here we have our confidence interval for each one when we drag it down. So for this variable, it's 7.3. If we want to get the upper confidence interval, how much our data is telling it would likely go up to at the 5% level, we would add this confidence, that confidence interval amount to it. So bring that down. To get the lower bound, we would take this number and we would minus it from that confidence interval amount that we're calculating, and we would drag that down. So now we have the upper bound, the lower bound, and this point estimate that is giving us what our function estimated, right? The actual point estimate, and then this confidence in between of how, we're pretty sure that if everything remains the same from the past data, this is where the likely pattern and the future earning sales will fall within. Now we're going to do is we're going to create a table, or a timeline table thing, a graph, basically a graph. I should just say a graph, not a table. Sorry, still not all there. Okay, we're going to highlight all of this information. I'm going to go to, we're going to go to insert. We're going to take our line graph, and it gives us a bunch of gobbledygook because we've highlighted so much stuff that we don't actually want to model. We have this line. We want to get rid of it. We have this guy, which is the stuff we actually don't want. We want to get rid of that. And this guy is starting where we don't want to and ending where we don't want to. We just actually want to go up to the 25th. Now here, these are also having that same problem. It's, for some reason, it's grabbing a lot more than we actually have estimated. And it's grabbing that first row that's empty. Same thing with the purple. We need to fix that. Highlight this and highlight over the periods that we have. Okay. Still not as pretty as this one. So I'm going to show you how to get it to this pretty level. So let's first, one of the big things is it might be helpful to actually have this as a different color. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this data right here. We're going to copy it, and we're going to paste it as a value. where this is, we don't need this necessarily right now. So we're going to copy this actual data, and we're going to put it as a pasted value over on top. We're going to remove this. Okay. Now that line disappeared. We want these confidence intervals to actually go into where we our last observation, the 16th, right? So to bring these two dots together in Excel, what we can do is we can take our last observation and put it in this row. Now you can see that those confidence intervals are starting at that point and then kind of spreading out. We can go to our select data and now really mess with our graph. So first off, we want to add back in our projected forecast sales. We can call this projected sales. Number 5 is this blue line. That's the lower bound. So we're going to say lower 95th percentile confidence interval. Let's hopefully you can see that. Okay. Series 4 is the purple line. This one's going to be the upper 95th percentile confidence interval. And this is our actual sales. Okay. We need this guy to also go over here. That's just having it start where this one ends. Just basically, you can see, links it all together, and so that we can start really seeing the projections off into time. Now, if we wanted to make it exactly like this graph, what we could do is we could reduce the overall line. Let's go to chart design, format. And we'll make it really light. Oh, let's make it a little bit darker than that. That's way too light. No, that's a little, we'll do 3/4. Gosh, it seems so late. Let's go here. Oh, come on. There. We'll put the other one as 3/4. Oh, that's way too light, isn't it? I can barely see that. Got those old eyes. Yeah, here we go. We'll make it like that. We'll make it 1 compared to the normal one. Okay. So here we have this light confidence interval. We can do the projected sale to really make that pop. Let's say we put dashes like this. Yeah. And yeah, there we are. So let's go, we'll call this projected sales of smartphones. So here we've created a graph. I kind of want this blue. I don't know about you. I want that blue, and I want these red like the other ones. Let's go shade of red. Shade of red. Oh, come on. Come on. Shade of red. Come on, shade of red, or do I do this? Red? Okay. There. So here, what we've done is we've projected out the sales over almost two quarterly periods. And you can see that by telling it was seasonality, we get this like overall very much seasonal trend. Let me show you what it looks like when you say 0. Oh no, shoot, I changed everything. Never mind. It would flatten it out. It wouldn't control for that overall seasonality as well as what we would see here. And so if you go back to the slides, all of those formulas to go through it slowly is right here. However, I kind of made it a little bit simpler at the end, and I didn't do all of this extra how to change it around and make it kind of look a little bit semi more pretty, or I don't know. I take a little bit more time thinking about what would make this look a little bit better, but you can bring all of these in by and really make a very similar graph to this by just following this kind of manual method to elicit that same shape.